In all honesty, since I started this show, Healthline, I've been feeling so good with myself. They say visit your doctor at least 3 times in a year or 4 times. Well, I have doctors coming in to the studio every week. It's a big flex for me. My name is Chacha, the one and only Happy Fairy. This is Healthline on Base 101.1 FM. I've got an ophthalmologist in the studio, an optician, Dr. Oamere. Victor, welcome to the show. I hope I pronounced it after my practice. Okay, Doctor is here, and today we're going to talk about vision. We're going to talk about eye health. We're going to talk about everything. I have had cases in my life where I've had to wear glasses. I've had to use glasses in GS3, in SS3, and GS3 to SS1 was a bit sad because the whole school found out that I could not see. I had this basketball game and I was playing oh my god, if you had watched it, Doctor, you would have been so embarrassed. Fun fact, that was the first game my brother came to watch and I missed 16 baskets because I could not see. And people didn't know I only used to wear glasses in my house, in my parents' house, when my dad was coming back from work because he said the glasses were expensive. And I didn't want to wear it in school because I felt like it made me look like a geek or a nerd, and I wanted to feel cool with myself. But I didn't even think about it then, and my eyesight has gotten worse. I used to say to people, corrective lens doesn't correct you, so please just help me one time. When a child or a person comes to you and says, I can't see, sometimes can it be corrected without glasses? Or every time it has to be with glasses? Because I've had this argument, even if I'm not as knowledgeable as should be.
It's not that when you have eye issues, it has to always be with glasses for the correction.
Okay.
It depends on what exactly has caused the deficiency in your vision and what has caused how blurry the vision has gone.
Right.
So
okay.
It depends on that.
Okay, so please tell me the most important reasons why regular eye checkups are necessary, because sometimes we just feel like until something is going on we need to check. Are there times when regardless?
I think it's a perspective of we Nigerians. Most times, most people, when it hasn't gotten to the severe state, they really don't find the need to want to visit their doctors regardless of wherever it is. And we've developed this thing in Africa in a way that people believe that they can always do self-medication, so they keep managing it at home until it becomes terribly worse for them to cope with before they decide to visit their doctors.
Right.
People have got this conception they hold on to, and they'll tell you that they can really see, so they would not want to see their doctor until it gets worse. And there are subtle eye diseases and conditions that wouldn't come with symptoms.
Right. Really?
They're quite asymptomatic. And the deterioration would have been going quite deep in at the back of your eyes without you knowing, while you're still walking around seeing clearly.
Oh wow!
But the vision is already getting lost gradually. So these are some of the reasons why it's quite important that we have our eyes regularly checked.
I would never have thought to go to see an optician if I didn't have eye issues. What kind of things can happen to you if you don't have signs? I mean, me, I'm the type. When you drive a car, you see all those lights. I'm the type that my dashboard has to be like Christmas tree before I take my car to the mechanic. It's bad. But now hearing that regardless of, feeling pain, feeling any type of way, you should check. What is one thing that you've seen someone came in to, get themselves checked and you were like, what is happening? Like, what was that one crazy thing that happened?
Okay, this happened I think about 5 years ago. I had a patient that came to the clinic. He had an accompaniment of his friend who came along with him. So he's a known short-sighted person. So he's been wearing glasses, like you said, from his childhood. So he had known then that his vision was quite bad. So he knows that already. So the friend, we examined him, did all the tests we could do, the investigations we could do. Then he just jokingly told his friend, yeah, bro, could you just sit, let have your eyes checked?
Yeah.
That one was like, no, my vision is good. I've had good vision. Right from my childhood, our family, we've got no issues with our sight and all of that. So we just felt like, okay, that's fine. So the persistence went on from his friend, and he was like, okay, let me just sit and have my eyes checked. And the way the test is done, when you're having your visual acuity done, you'd have one eye covered first, and you'd read through the Snellis chart. So he did that with his right eyes. with his right eye. The left was covered. The right eye was able to read all through extensively down to the tiniest of prints. So by the time he had his right eye covered to see through with the left eye, that was when it dawned on him that, wow.
Wahala day.
Then he turned and he was like, "You guys should stop joking with me. Why did you guys take off the Snellis chart from the point where I was reading from?" And everybody turned like, "No,
nobody
it's still
touched
there."
it.
So that was when he realized. And he closed the other eye again and saw that he could see clearly. Then he closed that one back and he realized. So by the time we had to do a dilation on him, then we did fundoscopy on him, and we realized that the macula is a point on the retina where we use for fine detail.
Okay.
To get fine detail vision. So the macula was already mottled, had some speckles around and quite scarred. And he didn't know.
Oh my goodness! You saved a life right there.
No, the vision was it was irreversible at that stage.
Wow!
So that was when it dawned on him that he's been living and walking around with just one eye.
Oh wow!
Unknown to any.
Wait, I'm just gonna do a quick check on my own because all these lashes and things that I put on my face, I need to check. So, is there any link, by the way, between a vision problem and something like diabetes or hypertension or stroke or heart disease? Could the eyesight be linked to any other problem in the body?
You're absolutely right on that, and that's it's still buttress on the fact that it can never be overemphasized, the essence of regular eye examinations, because when you do regular eye examinations, you'd end up finding some systemic, like you mentioned, like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol level. You can find all of these presenting right in the eye without the person or the sufferer or the patient knowing exactly that they're already having these signs showing up in their body.
Right.
Why you can pick it up from there and you tell them to go see their general physician.
Oh, wow.
Just by examining the fundus, you can tell that this guy is suffering from hypertension and all.
I need to ask, first of all, when you knew you wanted to be a doctor, were you specific about the eyes? Were you interested? What made you decide that this is the part of, medicine you wanted to go through?
This will be quite touching at this point, though. Yeah, I'm gonna take it this way. My dad, before he passed, he had cataract surgery. Then I was in 400 level when he had the first one. So, but there was an underlying trait of glaucoma, which was not seen and detected at that time when they did the cataract surgery. So the glaucoma quite ongoing, progressing, and had the nerves damaged in both eyes.
Right.
So, but that was quite late. By the time we had the trabeculectomy, when we did the surgery for the glaucoma to reduce the intraocular pressure, the vision was already lost.
Oh wow!
So we ended up losing one of his sight to glaucoma because they had wrongly picked it up initially at just pure cataract. The glaucoma was not seen at that stage. It was at that time, so it caused the vision to get bad.
Oh no!
Before it was done, so I just picked an interest in it and I was like, okay, fine, let me actually go for the eye and see how that would go.
Oh wow, okay, that's actually a touching story. Now let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about the elderly. A lot of people I've seen, they talk about glaucoma. Is this something that you can notice signs for a while? That's a very common illness that we see around now, glaucoma in the elderly. Can a young person have it, or is it from the age of 40 and above?
It has no specifics to the fact that it's only for the aged. Generally, age is a risk factor for glaucoma that cannot be denied. Okay. So the older you are, the more predisposed you get to having that. That's a point though. But it also happens to children.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it can happen to children from trauma. It can happen to children congenitally. Yeah, we've had cases where it's a congenital situation where the child was born with that.
Talking about children, when should kids start having their eyes checked? What are the signs parents should look out for? If I have a kid now, how should I know that it's time for me to go and check if the child is okay visually?
The child doesn't need to have any issues before you have them checked, but it's advisable. It's advisable at 6 months of birth. They can have just a normal observation. The doctor examines and checks. That's fine. Then you can do that again when they're 2 years. Again, that's fine. Yeah, but for adults, you can do that at least 1 to 2 years.
Right.
1 to 2 years regularly. That's fine for adults.
What are the common vision problems that we see around town? What is the if you could pick 3 things that come to your table, what are those 3 things that you see regularly?
Eye strain, number one, and that's to do with the current dispensation where we find ourselves with people spending more time on their videos, the phones, the systems, the TVs. So you'd have people coming with dry eyes, stenopia, which is the same thing as the fatigue we've mentioned, the eye strain. Then people are now becoming to have what's called astigmatism more often than and this has to also be from the squinting when they strain their eyes more on the system. That happens as well. And the shocking thing now you find out is there's pterygium. That's very rampant now. Pterygium is when there's a fatty deposit on the conjunctiva, the white part of the eye, and
fatty. What do you mean by that? It's
lipid. When you have much deposit of lipids in your body, you have consumption of. That's what I was telling you earlier when we were talking about the essence of early eye checks, where you can find high cholesterol in your body. So when you've got much consumption of that, you can have deposits of the fat deposited
in your eye.
Yeah, on the conjunctiva.
So how do you see it?
Over time, it extends and turns into thread-like growth. Then you find it on the white part of the eye, the conjunctiva.
Okay.
So it extends on that part, trying to nip into the iris, the black part you see. Okay. So that's pterygium.
So, sorry, hold on. You said a thread-like growth. So is it like something you can remove yourself, or you just see a line in your eyes?
You wouldn't be able to remove that. Would have to excise it. Would have to scrape it off surgically.
My eyeball.
When it has grown to the point.
Is that my eye?
No, it's on the surface.
On the surface. Hey.
Yes. So when it has grown to the point where it's now interferes with your vision, at that point it can now be excised.
Right.
Or you blink and you feel like there's sand, because when it grows too much, you blink and you feel like there's sandy particles.
Right. Okay.
And you feel a lot irritated, and sometimes that nasal part close to the nose of the white part becomes a lot inflamed, a bit reddish and itchy. You find that irritation there.
Yeah. So let's talk about this modern day generation. We have an influx of people using so much technology. We're on our phones, on our TV screens, we're on Instagram, we're on TikTok. Like, we spend the amount of screen time people have is ridiculous. Now, what is your advice to people to reduce eye strain? 1, and 2, how badly do we get our eyes damaged by looking at all of these screens?
When you spend much time on the screen, what happens is you tend to have the eye strain that you mentioned. But because when you stay longer on the phone, on the screen, your blink rate is reduced. Because you have to stay longer, so you reduce then your blink rate, so you don't blink quite frequently as you ought to. So by so doing, your eyes get dried.
Right.
Yes, and they get irritated. You get the point now. So that happens when you stay extensively too long on the system. So that results to dry eye. And you can actually help that with eye lubricants.
Okay.
The eye drops you can actually use to keep your eyes moist and lubricated.
Like Visine?
We're not yet to market any brand. That's why you have to see your doctor. It decides what is good for your eyes.
Okay.
So that's fine. And again, you can also use the UV protector. There's a blue protect. You can get that from your doctor as well, where you can put that on when you're going to be on your screen longer. It's advisable for children who really spend time on their tabs and their screens to do a 20-20 rule like technique to help exercise their eyes. So you're going to take your eyes off your screen and look at 20 feet away from you for 20 seconds every 20 minutes.
Okay.
So when you do that, that helps to keep your eyes relaxed, because when you stay confined in an environment for a longer time, keeping your eyes glued to your system, you're constraining and constrain your eyes now to start developing short-sightedness. So they now start believing that they can only see within this confinement that you've given them.
Right.
So thereby it start developing, especially for children. Over time, they start becoming short-sighted because they've stayed in this room longer in front of their system. They don't go out that often because the natural daylight has its own improvement for a healthy eye development. So it does that. So when you're restricted from that quite often and you're staying indoors longer, you're definitely going to start developing short-sightedness.
Right. I like that 2020 that you said.
2020.
Look at something 20 feet away
from you
for 20
seconds every 20 minutes.
Yes. For those who are addicted to their phones, we should not even be giving them what to do. Sir. They should just you should have more customers. You know what customers see you giving good advice.
It's good to put it out there.
It is indeed. But are you saying that staring at phones for long can actually lead to permanent damage? Can it lead to permanent damage?
No.
Okay.
I think that's one of the myths we've got in the vision thing that people have always held on to. So it's not going to lead to permanent damage to your eyes, but definitely it's going to lead to blurred vision that would last temporarily. Okay, that happens. Then it's going to lead to dry eye. It's going to lead to strain. You feel fatigue. Your eye muscles feel fatigue. You try to make eye rotations and you're feeling like headache. You can have headaches like that. So it's not really going to lead directly to permanent vision loss or visual damage.
I've had people who wear sunglasses indoors, or they'll tell you, I know it's because of my eyes. Can sunglasses protect you indoors? Do people have to wear dark shades? Some people say they have to go outside with only dark shades. Some people say dark shades are medicated for them. Is there anything like that?
Dark shade may not be medicated for you, but definitely dark shade to an extent reduces the amount of light that penetrates into your eyes, especially people who are actually photophobic, people who have strain, who feel pains when they are exposed to excessive bright light. Right. So they can put sunshade on. It reduces the exposure they have to bright light. Okay.
So I don't want you to think that I'm a mad person. This is my next question. So this one is a personal one. Sometimes when I close my eyes before, I used to see different colors. And then there's one shape, one string. Is it normal? Like it's not an S, but it's just a curved line that I see that in my eye. When I close my eye, I see it's transparent. It looks like it's transparent and has dot inside. So a lot of times,
and it feels like you can touch it.
Yes, a lot of times when I happen to close my eyes and I see that, or if I open it, the thing will just be moving on the road, like it's just be moving in the air. And then I'm looking like, what did they happen for here? Is it normal? Do other people see that?
When they close their eyes?
Close your eyes, open it, you can see a line that has dot, like a worm.
Yeah, and seems like it's moving with your visual gaze.
Yes.
Yeah, it happens at times though.
Okay.
It happens
so
at times.
I'm okay.
Yeah, you're okay.
Nothing
you're okay. It happens.
But
you still need, there's what's called floaters. So sometimes you could find like a web like. Okay. Some people see it as dots in space, but it's actually not there. So when they turn their gaze, it tends to move along with their visual gaze. So you definitely need to be examined, because several causes can result to you having floaters in your visual field.
So the one I have is not floater, it's just normal level.
You can't tell unless you're examined.
I wanted to go back to something you were talking about. You mentioned blinking, how some people, if you're staring at the screen for long, you don't blink. So are you saying blinking is a healthy part of life? It's necessary to blink always? Because I'm about to start flying.
Yeah, it's important because it helps for tear production. So the more you blink, the more lubricated your ocular surface gets.
Okay. I remember one girl in my secondary school, she used to call me blink. And there's a time, I don't know, there's a time my eyes do. She used to call me blink, and I didn't like that. But I forgive you, Yiko. I forgive you. Let's talk about food. First of all, we've seen so many things on social media where they say eat carrots, eat onions, eat this for your eyesight. How does nutrition affect the eyes?
Nutrition affects the eyes in a lot of ways, because there are specific vitamins, specific nutrients, specific minerals, specific antioxidants that are quite important for your eye health, especially for the cornea and the retina.
Right.
Yeah, like for vitamin A now, it's quite important for the cornea and for the retina as well. And vitamin A helps for good vision in low light condition. Okay. So when you're in a darker place and you have deficiency in your vitamin A, your vision will be blurry at night. Yeah. Okay, so we want to have the bat-like movement. We have to have vitamin A. Exactly, and you can get it from your animal products and from your plant product, and that's where the carrot comes in. Okay. Because carrot has enough of beta carotenoids in it, so that also helps. But that has to be converted to retinol before it's being used by the body. I laughed at retinol because the only retinol I know is for my skincare. So I was like, oh, do I leak that? No. Okay, all right. But what food or habits can help with long-term eye care? In terms of good vision maintaining, Yeah, you definitely have to have more leafy vegetables, because this contain more vitamins as well, minerals as well. And also you can eat more liver from your beef, from your chicken. Yeah, so this,
I like that.
Yeah, this contain vitamin A. So
liver is one of my favorite things.
That helps. Oyster also does.
Ew! I had an oyster once, and I'm never trying that again because first of all, I didn't know what I was supposed to be tasting. Second of all, it was expensive for that tiny thing. What's in the inside?
It has omega-3 in it. Omega-3 fatty acids. So
I cannot get that from another place.
You can from probably walnuts.
I saw walnuts, bougie. I saw one post where they said something about oysters and how oysters have diseases or something. No, it's disease. They have things in them, and I'm just like, oh, is that what's inside? I saw like it was through a microscope, and something inside the oyster was dancing. I said,
no, when it's prepared well, it has enough of omega-3 fatty acid in it, and that also helps for your melanin production. Melanin also helps. There's a pigment in the eye that helps to protect.
Okay, now let's talk about some people who decide that they want to wear contact lenses for fashion. I've worn a contact lens once in my life. Weirdly, the color was purple, and before I wore it, my friend was choking her eyes at my hands at my eye. I can't still do it. I can't try it. But is there something bad in contact lenses? I've seen a lot of people some people say they've gone blind from wearing contact lenses. Is that true? Is it the bad product, or is it the care while wearing contact lenses?
Yeah, number one, the care one. Yeah, because to put on contact lenses, you need more hygiene. You need more hygiene because your hands have to be well cleaned before you can put on contact lenses. Right. And there are techniques to putting on contact lenses because it has to be exactly your size.
Oh, wow, their size.
Yes, there's what's called base curve. So if it does not match with your base curve of your cornea, it definitely won't sit where it could be too tight or too loose. And when it's too tight, it's going to cause you to start straining your eyes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly. And could cause abrasion.
So even those fashion lenses have sizes?
Yeah, they do have sizes.
How do I know my size?
That's why it's not advisable you just go and peek over the shelf and over the counter contact lenses. It's not advisable.
Wow.
Your doctor has to have checked to have known what your base curve is.
I've been seeing some interesting fashion lenses where it's either they put an all black and the eye is either really big or just all those designer lenses. Do you advise people to wear those?
I really don't advise people just put on anything in their eyes because you can have cornea ulcer. Exactly, by just when you have your cornea infected, it can result to healing with scar, and the scar becomes permanent unless you have a cornea transplant. So it's advisable you don't just go around putting any kind of contact lenses in your eyes.
That's so much. That's a lot. I hope my buddies are hearing this one because there's so many. You look left, you see somebody with tiger eye. You look like, say, what's in the happen? We're gonna calm down. In any case, does the eyesight change over time as you get older, as you age? Does it change, and how can we help our eyesight as we age?
It does. Yeah, with age, every part of the body changes with age.
Okay. So
it happens as well for the eyes. So when you age, that's why you find some people when you cross the age of 35, they start having difficulties in reading tiny characters. So they're attempting to push the print or whatever it is they're reading a bit farther from them than when it's closer. So these are changes that occur as we age. Okay. Cataract is also an aging factor majorly, so it happens as well. So the more you age, the more you're likely to develop certain eye diseases.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, I've learned a lot today. I'm going to take one question. One question of WhatsApp. Actually, two. Here says, with more kids using tablets and phones from an early age, are we seeing an increase in eye problems amongst children? From Eddie.
Yeah, we're likely to see more problems from children. And that's what we said earlier on when we said the more they stay longer on their phones, their tabs, the more they stay indoors. And the more they stay indoors, the more they are being reduced from going outside to exposing their eyes to the natural daylight, which actually helps for the eye development as a child.
Right.
So that's in that way they're going to end up developing short-sightedness over time.
Okay. Second question. Actually, the second question on here is one of the questions I wanted to ask in my myth and facts. This question says, is it true that rubbing your eyes frequently can lead to long-term damage? What exactly happens when we do that?
Yeah, when you rub your eyes quite repeatedly and hardly, you can peel off the cornea surface. There's a layer on the cornea, the epithelium layer. That's the outer layer of the cornea. So when you rub your eyes quite repeatedly over time, you can end up causing an abrasion, like a tear, like an injury on the epithelium layer of the cornea. So you'd end up having issues with light sensitivity over time. So that happens when you have your eyes rubbed quite repeatedly.
When you were doing your hand sign saying there's a tear, I just remembered the Lion King scar. Is a scar? And I'm like, that would be so cool, until you said there'll be problem with light sensitivity. No, I don't want that one. Thank you so much, Doctor. I've learned a lot, but before you go, I want to ask you some certain myths and if they're right, true, or wrong. This says reading in dim light will damage your eyesight. Is that true?
That's not true.
Okay.
But reading in dim light, we mentioned it in our earlier conversation when we said some of the causes of digital asthenopia or eye strain, like it said. When you read in dim light, you're going to have to force your eye muscles to actually constrict and relax to see better, because you're straining to see in dim light. So you'd end up having eye strain, you'd end up having headache. So these are things, and blur vision, but the blur vision would not stay permanent. So it's not going to result to permanent damage.
Okay. Now, this second one, I'm guilty because I that's the reason why I wasn't wearing my glasses. It says, wearing glasses makes your vision worse over time. True or false?
False. Yes.
I wanted you to say true, Joe.
No, it's a false. It's a false. Yeah, because the thing is, when you take off your glasses, your eyes have got to a stage, especially for people who are short-sighted, they really can see far. So they've probably been born with longer eyeballs. So when they focus on things, they don't get
eyeballs.
Yeah, the eyeballs, the shape of the eyeball. I mean, so when they look at things, they don't get formed on the retina. Okay. So that's how they've been born. Okay. Okay. So they won't end up seeing. So the moment you take off your glasses, if such a person is wearing a corrective lenses and takes off the glasses, the vision stays the way it has been before they put on the glasses. So the glasses won't make your vision go worse. Rather, it makes you see better. Okay.
So sitting too close to the TV will ruin your eyesight. True or false?
It's not good to sit too close to the TV, to the screen. Okay, it's not too good, but it's not going to ruin your eyesight. Okay. It's the same thing that happens. Part of the digital, the causes of digital eye strain. So when you stay too close to your screen, what happens is the light, the glare from your system tends to cause the strain on your eye muscles. And that way your eyes feel dry more. Right. Okay. Because you have to stay too close to it, your blink rate reduces quite drastically. So your eyes will definitely feel dry. You get irritated and you could feel blur. When you take your eyes off to look at distant objects, it's blur. It takes a while before it refocuses. Okay. But it's not going to ruin or damage your eyes. Okay. So
to all those times when my mom would tell me, you're watching TV too much, your eye go bad. Look at her, she's wearing glasses. But anyways, this author myth says, eye exercises can fix your vision and replace glasses. True or false?
False, in the sense that it's not going to replace glasses, especially if you got refractive error. Refractive error is error when you can't really see clearly, either astigmatism, short-sightedness, or long-sightedness, whatever the case may be. So it cannot fix you not using glasses. Okay. But eye exercises can never be undermined in this case, because we mentioned it, that's the 20-20-20, right, where you'd have to take your eyes off. It's part of the exercises you have to do. Take your eyes off, look at 20 feet apart from you. You do that every 20 seconds. You do that 20 seconds for every 20 minutes. So that helps you. I'm
not even gonna lie, when I was reading this myth, as it just reminded me that 20-20-20 is eye exercise, I'm thinking, am I supposed to be blinking? Am I supposed to put something on my lids to exercise? Wow, my brain is.
And there are other ways you could. There's a eye massager. So you can put it on, it does that as well. So
you see, I'm not totally wrong. Finally, wearing someone else's glasses temporarily is fine. So look at his face. So if I wear somebody's glasses, am I damaging my eyesight?
Not really. I think the word damaging is actually what I'm not so cool with. It's not going to damage your eyesight. But basically, when you use a wrong prescription, because when you put it on someone else's glasses, it means it's a wrong prescription for your own eyes. So what that does, it's going to make you to strain. You're going to strain your eyes more to see clearly. Right. And so that would give you headache. It's going to blur vision, that could be temporary. So basically, but not to damage your eyes.
That's it. All right. Thank you so much, Doctor. I do appreciate you coming on. I've learned a couple of things that I'm going to use. This show is just making me feel so knowledgeable. Love it. Thank you. Do you have any final thoughts, any final advice you want to give, someone who is listening?
Yeah,
right
I would want to recommend that people try to drink more water, because this would help to lubricate your eyes and increase your tear production.
Okay.
Yeah, because the times we are now are more of the digital times where people have to stay longer on their screen due to their jobs, so you can't tell people not to do that. Then again, it's also important we have our eyes protected from the screens regularly. We need the blue protection, so you need to see your doctors for regular eye checks, and you need to eat healthy. You need to eat healthy. That can never be overemphasized in this discussion. You need to eat healthy. It's quite important you have a wide range of your colorful fruits and vegetables, so you can have wider range of your minerals and vitamins and your antioxidant that would help for your eye health.
Very well. Thank you so much. If there's anyone who wants to get through to you, how can they find you?
We're at Diamond Center, Lekki, the second roundabout when you come in. So we're at Diamond Center. When you go through the Pinnacle Fuel Station, and we're directly opposite Ocean Crest Square to Nero there.
All right, thank you so much. Do you want to give your personal? No? Yes? No? Okay. We love doctors.